more than just the industrial park.
I'm not ready to talk.
Message received.
Way more political answer, but
You good, Ryan?
We're set, sir.
All right. City Council will call this meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Brown.
here.
Ewing. Here. Godwin.
Here.
Norris.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Whitaker.
Here.
All right, let's stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, moving on, approval of the minutes. You should have received minutes through email. Any additions or corrections? If not, we'll say those are approved. Approval of the current financial report. You should have received a copy of that.
Move to accept.
Motion by Mr. Brown to approve the current financial report. Discussion? Call the roll.
Brown.
Yes.
Ewing. Yes. Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt. Yes. Whitaker.
Yes.
Approval of the agenda. Right now, we have nothing to add.
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Brown to approve the agenda as it is presented. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Brown.
Yes.
Ewing. Yes. Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Moving on to public hearing. Anyone wishing to address council, please step forward. Sign-in sheet there at the podium.
I have two things. Some of the, I live out there by the park, and a couple of the neighbors on Avenue B.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
A couple of the neighbors on Avenue B wondered when they're going to pave that particular street, because when they paved all the other avenues, A, C, D, E, and F, they didn't do B. And so they wanted me to bring the concern to the city and wants to know if that avenue will ever get paved, since it got missed the first time. So if you could, somebody fill me in, and I can take the information back to them. And the other reason why I'm up here is there's a rock there on the property of the school. And I went down tonight and I read it and I wrote it down, and it's called "The Athletic Field Was a Gift to the City Park, commissioned from the trustee of A.J. Marling Estate and shall forever be dedicated in his honor." So why I'm bringing this to your attention is there's a loose rock there, and I'm so afraid somebody's going to steal the rock. So what puzzles me is who owns that particular memorial. It's on school property, but it's dedicated in memory of Marlin, but it's also given to the city. So I just don't want, you can actually go in there and take that rock out. That's, they're made out of different rocks. And so I walk by there a lot, and I'm just so worried someone's going to steal the rock because it's at the bottom. So I don't know whose problem it is to be fixed. Let's have that re-cemented back in there before it comes up missing, and then it starts to look tacky. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention and see whether it can be repaired before it is stolen. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council?
Yes, I'm here as a representative for Brightspeed. You guys was going to go over an ordinance tonight, so I just want you to know I was here as a representative for the company.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi there, my name's John Scarberry. I'm here with my neighbors from Virginia Avenue. We was here probably, 3-4 months ago. 127 Virginia Avenue is still a problem. We've called Chief Roberts. I have called Chief Roberts. I have called Dennis Aislinger. And I left a message for you the other day, but you never called me back. Okay, these people, and what really upsets me is they're running this scrapping business out of their garage, okay? These guys are running from 10 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning. Okay? My AC in my house has been broken all summer. My windows are up. I hear the truck start. I hear them throw scrap around. I hear it all. Everybody else on the block doesn't hear it because, their AC is working and their windows are closed. Dog loose all the time. And they got reported, they just got cited not too long ago for dog loose. Well, past that time, the dog's been loose like 3 or 4 more times since then. Now they've got a camper sitting in their backyard and people's living in it. I called Monday morning to Dennis Aislinger. Camper's still there, people still in it. Virginia Avenue was a great, quiet neighborhood till a guy named Richard Barton bought the house, and now all of a sudden he's turned it into a slumlord house. I'm sorry some of my other neighbors couldn't be up here with me tonight. Pam and Ken Emmerich, I talked to them just the other day. They are so tired of this place. And they're complaining, but they like to keep the peace. And they're just so sick and tired. And then you got George Stauber, who lives next to him. And these people are literally running their truck through his yard because they park their pickup in the yard when they're doing their scrapping stuff. And Keith Hall, who lives north of this house, has went out 2 times during the night because they're burning a fire in their backyard in the middle of the night at 4:30, 5 o'clock. They did it early one night, and the smoke come across the block into my windows. I do not know what they was burning, but it burnt my eyes while I was laying in bed. I kind of figure what they're burning. They're taking wire out there, burning the insulation off the wire so they can get the copper. Now, if they're doing that, that's kind of toxic to be doing in town with houses right around. Now, I heard one of you say something about code enforcement. I'm sitting here as a concerned neighbor. When's it going to happen? And when do you quit sending letters to people and go out there and start fining them? This is just ridiculous in my book. And just another block down from me, you have a drug house. And these people, from what I hear from one of the neighbors down there, they are literally taking adult toys and gluing them to people's hoods of their vehicles. Now, also on Virginia Avenue, it's a drag race down there. There's a lot of speeding on that block. And of course, the people at 127 Virginia, they got 3 kids. Don't watch them at all. They let them play in the road. A couple weeks ago, I was coming back from Kroger's. The one boy was riding a little 3-wheel vehicle. He was in front of a car, didn't see him. He come out in front of me, never looked. I about hit him. If I'd have hit him, I'd have killed him. And there needs to be some police involvement on Virginia Avenue bad. Someone's going to have to patrol that area every once in a while. It's bad. Them kids are running that street. And I honestly say, is it going to take one of them getting killed for someone to do something? This stuff is, I know a lot of people in this town saying a lot of things about the ordinance, how the ordinance, you got ordinances, but they're not followed, they're not doing anything. Actually, on Busted in Dark County, a page on Facebook, they have started a discussion about the city ordinances and how they're not being enforced. And there's quite a few people on that discussion right now. So I'm just saying, Virginia Avenue, something's got to be done with this house. They're burning stuff in the late hours of the morning while people sleeping, running a scrap business. And I think one day I told Dennis, I said, I was going to start repairing small engines out of my garage. He told me no. I said, well, why not? Why can't I do it? He said, it's a business. I said, okay, I can't do that, but the people across the street can take a washer, refrigerator, air conditioners, dryer, stoves, take them in there, tear them down, strip them out, throw it on a trailer and haul it off and make money. But I can't fix a mower and make a few bucks off of it. I mean, where's the fairness in that? I mean, we had a big blow up one night on Virginia Avenue. One of the people in 127 called me out in the middle of the street. He might have been bluffing, but I walked right out in the middle of the street. He said he was going to knock me out. I told him, come do it. I mean, the violence is getting ready to happen. It's already started. And there's a lot of people in that block that's really upset about this. And we're looking for someone to step up and do something. You know, it's not even right. So if we can get some help from the council or the zoning or something, you know, it's time to do something to stop this stuff happening in Greenville. You took a nice quiet block and now it's crap. And that's all the neighbors do on that block is complain about this house and what it's doing for the whole neighborhood. That's all I have tonight.
Could I ask you a question,
Yes,
please?
yeah.
The people that live in this resident, are they the owners of the property?
No, Richard Barton is
Okay.
the owner.
I thought that's what you said. I just wanted clarification.
Yeah. I have done police work on the people that live in there, and you wouldn't believe the police records that are on these people. I mean, literally, one of the guys living in the house has a weapons charge under a disability. And it was from a different county. So, I mean,
Thank you.
violence could get a little crazy down there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else wishing to address council? If not, we're going to move on. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Dan Studebaker. I'm asking for the city to reconsider the sidewalk requirements that we have now. My dad and I have asked this clear back in the Chi days, the Nixon days, the Henry days, and again here now, and to me, now is the time. It's common sense. They should, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree to it, there should only be 411 and 304 gravel, compacted gravel only under all sidewalks and aprons. There should be half-inch rebar required in all sidewalks. 4 lineals per 4 foot, 5 lineals per 5 foot. Wide sidewalks. All commercial approaches should have 2 foot on center grid. And another key ingredient is all slabs must be pinned to the next existing concrete. We're not doing that. And it's common sense. No rebar, you're gonna have no grindings. Sidewalks without, sidewalks with rebar, no grindings. Sidewalks without rebar, grindings. How many of you have already looked and walked up and down your great city sidewalks that we've done grinded already? That's embarrassing. Embarrassing to our city. I've been numerous cities and I've never seen anything like that in other cities. And it's embarrassing. I thought the rules and regulations was half-inch or less grindings. We're grinding well over a half-inch in numerous areas. So is that setting precedence to phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? How many phases? 12, I hear? Are we setting precedents for the next 12 phases? The city is reaping what they sowed. For years, they was asked to get rebar. And now you walk your sidewalks and look at the grindings, and you're reaping what you sowed. It doesn't cost the city a dime. So I don't know why we can't add this to the restrictions for the people when they do their sidewalks. It's going to relieve your employees from a lot of work. I mean, these guys in the engineering office, they're putting in a ton of hours, ton of taxpayers' hours that really doesn't need to be. And we're paying choice one, I guess that's our city engineer, we're paying them hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to go through each phase. And I feel sorry for Chris. He's walking all these sidewalks and spray painting them, marking them, logging them in. The hours that, and what Katie and Dennis have to do, I take my hat off to them. It shouldn't happen. This is to me has got to stop. It's embarrassing to our city. This is just, what you're doing now is just a Band-Aid. What are you going to do in 5 years? You went and grinded them, and numerous ones over a half inch. What are you going to do in 5 years when it settles more? You're going to grind it back even farther? I mean, and then now you're taking out sections that need to be chunked out. Oh, it's more. You're not even requiring them to pin to the existing. So now you're taking new concrete with a 4 inch compacted base, pouring new concrete on it. The existing is probably dirt. It's probably pea gravel. It's probably grits. It's probably pit run. In my years in construction, I've seen it all. So you got a compacted new concrete, and you got the existing, and it's going to move. You got 2 different bases on 2 different pieces of concrete, and you're not even requiring them to pin to the existing. That would definitely help. At a minimum, that is a must. At a minimum, at least pin to the existing. So I was understood by Dennis and possibly Ryan that it's going to be too much cost for the people. An 80-foot of sidewalk, which is probably average, I'm guessing, 80 foot of sidewalk per customer, going to cost approximately $200 material and labor to put that in. That's probably around 5% or less on the whole project. It's going to add.
Dan.
Huh?
To put rebar in, you mean?
Yes.
Rebar cost.
$200 for 80 foot. And it's going to be approximately 5% added to the cost. That's peanuts compared to what you're reaping, what you're sowing, and it's embarrassing. So I'm asking, and I've talked to Ryan, I've talked to Dennis, both of them been great. Have no complaints. They've listened, they've made comments, they've bucked me a little bit here and there, but they can't prove me wrong of what I'm saying. I haven't heard them prove me wrong of what I'm saying. I know we had arguments about 57s, and 57s should be banned from slabs and sidewalks approaches. It holds water. When it holds water, it works mud. When it works mud, it's moving. When it moves, it cracks. When it moves, it separates. Common sense. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking you to reconsider it. at the least, pin, require to this day, tomorrow, pin to the existing. But if you can't come up with an agreement with this, start today, from here on, existing developments, these are the requirements. If you can't come up with trying to get this instilled today, in future developments, let's have rebar required in the concrete. Not costing the city a dime, and it sure does make our city look nice when the sidewalks are nice and not grinded. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address council? If not, we're going to move on to administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I got a couple things to bring up. Of course, Halloween's coming quickly and parades. First parade is November 18th. Don't forget. But then one thing that's kind of unique that's coming up in the last couple of years, it'll be the third year now that we're going to have the Christmas tree. If anybody, the lighting will be after the horse parade, of course, but then the tree will be moved in on the 13th. So if anybody wants to view the tree coming in and being planted at Annie Oakley Park, will I think they're going to do it like at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 13th. Other than that, Veterans Day Parade will be coming up soon too. We have a guest speaker, and I think I brought this up, Dana Robinson Street. She's a 26-year veteran of the Navy, and she does a lot of work in helping women veterans particularly, and counseling and helping them out. She's going to be a speaker at our summit, at our ceremony at the courthouse on the Veterans Day, 11/11, at 11 o'clock. So be there if you want to. One other thing that's coming up this Friday is they're doing a statue for Jim Beakey, and it's going to be right there at that parking lot, and between the parking lot and the trail, the bike trail, where they call it the Beakey Mile. It's going to be a bench with his statue on it, and it'll be dedicated on this Friday around 4 o'clock. All the dignitaries from the state will be here. The governor on down to all our representatives, and probably old friends from the Senate and House representatives that he had when he worked. So it'll be interesting. So other than that, I'll pass on. I'm sure I missed something. But...
Any questions for the mayor?
Mayor, you want to touch on the Gold Star Mothers?
Oh, yeah. It was nice we had a ceremony the other day. I did a little proclamation earlier in the week, but we had the Gold Star Mothers, the family of Kathy Bowen. Her grandmother started the monument that's at the entrance of the park, and it's the Gold Star Mothers monument. And just recently, the state has, or I don't know, it's federal or state, that they've made that not only mothers, but families. So they had the wording changed and updated. I think we helped them out a little bit. We pulled the bushes out. They want to do some things for that memorial. There was a time capsule underneath it, and then it didn't work out good. It all turned kind of to mush. It's like they didn't sealed up very well. The executives have given them like a small vault type to put the time capsule in, and they're going to put some new stuff in there and have that buried. But they want a plaque. I was going to help them get a community funds application to the city, but they hadn't quite happened. Some of the figures, needed some more figures on what they want to do. So they got a discounted stone from Everlasting Legacy Monuments there down on Broadway. And he's going to do some extra lettering and give a big discount. And then it has to be dug and a cement pad poured, and then put the stone on top of it. So And it'll be about, say some of the same type stuff, who it is that started it and the people that donated to it. So that's gonna be a nice little plaque. And so hopefully I'll get that. So maybe the next meeting, I know I said something to John earlier about having a committee assignment for it, but there might be something else coming up, I think, too, for Main Street wants to do some things. So we'll have another time where we get a committee together. So, yeah, the North Star mothers and families, they had a ceremony down there, and a lot of people came from out of town that was part of the family, and it was great. I bet there was 40, 50 people there that at the dedication. Chris was there. It was a nice day and worked out really great. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to it, but
Other than, I mean,
it's
Veterans Honor Guard was there and
Veterans Honor Guard.
full honors, taps and a 21 gun salute. So it was quite a,
it was pretty cool. Yeah, really great time. Worked out good. So it was fun to see all the family members there from, they traveled a good ways to come.
a couple was from Nebraska, drove 73
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. Yeah, wow. Really nice. So the DAR, of course, is, not of course, but the DAR has been helping with getting funds and coordinating all those efforts to get that done too. I think they'll be part of what they want to get to, that has mulch all the way around it. What they want to get to one of these days is to fill that all in with brick and then sell like bricks to Gold Star, have the names on them, the families and mothers and things like that to help pay for it. But they wanted to get started with this small plaque in the front to have that get started. So they need some prep work done, and they're getting estimates here in a couple of weeks, but so it was hard to decide what kind of money to get. So we'll see that later on. So, all right, thanks. Now I'll pass.
Very good. Moving on to Safety Service Director, Mr. Delk.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few things for this evening. The first is the solar eclipse that Greenville, Dark County is in the viewing area. That's April 8th of 2024. I attended a meeting today with county officials and police and fire and hospitals and parks, you name it. Everyone was in attendance. It's an event that's has a lot of unknowns. We feel it's really going to be weather dependent on the influx of people that we have, but we want to try to plan accordingly to handle the number of people that could potentially be coming. Looking at other counties and municipalities that have had a full viewing area in the past, you're looking at potentially doubling, possibly even tripling your population for that one day, that one time. So we have to be prepared to handle all of those things. Some events that are going to be taking place. So out at the fairgrounds, there's an Airstream trailer group along with another camping group that's going to come in and camp. It sounds like potentially 600 campers. Eldora is selling camping spots. It's a little farther from us, but where Country Concert is, I think Cottonwood Lake.
Hickory
Hills Lakes, thank you. They are doing an event and having some bands and having camping there as well. The Dark County Park District is having an event down at Prairie Ridge, which is by Garst Museum, an event at the mill, and then an event out at Shawnee Prairie. Main Street Greenville is focusing more on the Friday and Saturday prior to having some shopping events down there to have something for all these folks to do. Today's discussion was like getting them here won't be so bad. Hopefully they kind of trickle in because you're giving them days, but at 4:00 on Monday afternoon, when everyone decides to exit the city and the county at once, is when things has a potential to go bad. So schools have not decided yet, but county schools are looking into closing that day. Another big discussion is glasses, the viewing glasses. Do we sell those? Do people make them with their logos and pass them out at their events? right now, I think the park district said they have 5,000 of them, which if you get 150,000 people, that's not going to work so well. So there's going to be a lot of glasses. So a lot of planning going into it, but as I said, it's a lot of unknown. We just want to start talking about it so people are prepared. At the time, it's going to be when shifts are changing at work and school, if they don't cancel, school kids going home. So we just want to start getting the word out there and talking about it early on so everyone's prepared.
Rally day.
And you're right, that was the discussion today. I guess hardcore followers of the eclipse watch the weather about 48 hours before. If it's cloudy here, they're probably moving on. If it's sunny here, look out. Here everyone comes.
I already have family that are already making plans to be here. They went to the last one and they're hardcore followers.
Yeah.
So they're already anticipating making a trip to Greenville.
I'm sure they'll still visit you even if it's raining.
I think they will.
Eclipse chasers, I think, is what the word is. So, Dark County Parks and Main Street and the Visitors Bureau, they have a very cool marketing, Dark Side of the Moon for Dark County. So it's kind of the sky's the limit, and the sheriff kind of got a little hesitant, hey, let's not plan all these events. If they come here, great, but let's not bring them. But they're going to come regardless. So we're just trying to prepare for everything and make sure everyone's safe and traffic patterns, and there's going to be a lot that goes into it for the potential. Any more questions? Any other questions? No? Homecoming parade this Thursday. It's homecoming week for the Green Wave. So homecoming parade, 6 o'clock Thursday evening, downtown. And then just wanted to talk about the item number 4, the resolution for the purchase of the 3 police vehicles. So a little bit of a change. The original plan was Ford was going to start allowing you to order on October 1st. So our plan was Dave Knapp was going to try to order these 3 cruisers with us. And we've been trying to purchase cruisers for about 2 years now and keep getting shut out of the order. On October 1st, tried to order them, was not able to. So now Ford has pushed back that order date to October 16th. So plan A is to order them from Dave Knapp and keep it local, and then have them upfitted by a different company, security, safety, something like that. Plan B is there is a safety systems. There you go. I think that is right. Thank you. Plan B is statewide, who has the cooperative purchasing, but we have to purchase from them and have them upfitted from them, and we can save a little money if we can buy them from Knapp's and have them upfitted by Safety Solutions. So that is the plan moving forward. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what we're trying to accomplish there. And with that, I will pass.
All right, moving on. Law Director, Mr. Reaman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to touch on one thing, ordinance number 3, we've got the representative from Brightspeed, just some explanation on that. They are doing a fiber project here in town. The resolution mirrors what we've done in the past for Vectren. I know it says street openings. A lot of people get nervous about that. The reality is it's anything that's in the right of way. And so with Brightspeed's project, they anticipate 90% of those openings are going to be in the green space and the grass beside the right of way. So again, this just mirrors what we've done for other businesses in the past, and we're excited to have another project in town and to give some competition and some choice for consumers. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yes, sir.
The openings that they're doing in the streets, I know that Omni Fiber is not going to let them put them in their boxes where they have these boxes. It's probably 3.5, 4 foot by 3 foot. Are they going to have, is Brightspeed going to do the same thing, put boxes right beside those boxes? And
so they have to have room in the right of way to put it. They've got the easement to put it in the right of way, and so it will be there somewhere.
yeah, because I'm looking at, now there's 2 fiber optic companies, and they're not going to share, like you said, share boxes. And now you're going to have, somebody else is going to have another box in somebody's yard that's going to be right next to the other box. And then they got these little boxes that they have out there too. And I seen today at Wagner Avenue, they had, they put a probably 5 foot tall stainless steel thing out there in front of Hardee's. 3 foot by whatever.
Yeah, and that's Omni Fiber. And I don't remember off the top of my head the number. I think there's about 10 of those above ground that go around the city. And I don't know if you mind him getting up and speaking, but he could answer it a lot better than I could. I do know Brightspeed is planning on 75% aerial and 25% underground, where Omni Fiber is probably more like the other direction, 75% underground and 25% above ground.
Are they planning on putting those, I don't know if that's, ask him.
We're pushing, most of ours will be 90% above ground. We're going for the gold. And some areas.
If, I'm sorry to interrupt, if you're going to speak, do you mind coming up to the podium? That way everyone can hear what you're saying.
Sure.
Yeah, on the Brightspeed ones, as of right now, we're looking 90% aerial instead of buried. We're gonna go with the aerial project first through the whole thing to see how it's going to work. As far as the buried goes, those boxes will be put in, but it will be put in on the right of way. You know, you was asking that. What I've seen with the new fiber company, they're going out to the curbs and putting them right along the street. Before, we've always went to the right of way, either behind or right where our utility right of way was. And that's where we're planning on going this time. We will be in our right of way, not in everybody else's. I've been driving around, I've been in business for a while, this business, and seeing how they're going along the curbs, putting all these in. And I didn't understand why you guys would allow that, why you wouldn't go into utility right away in the first place. I don't know. I mean, but as far as ours goes, we'll be in the utility right away itself is where our boxes will be placed. But like I said, most of this project will be aerial, is what we're looking to build, more than any buried. If we need buried, we're going to go the aerial projects first. You know, if we get a good movement on sales, which I think we will, then we'll come to you more on the buried before we start any of that. So, any question about it? I would say, what do I answer? I know the prints pretty good, so. But that's, you know, your box wise, we're wanting to go in the utility right away,
Well, I know on the
like
north,
we have been.
the north end of town, you can't go aerial because there's no place to go aerial up there.
Clear up on that end.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I've had people approach me and say, you know, they've got the box already in their front yard. Then there's gonna be another one like right next to it.
yeah. I totally understand what you're saying, totally. Some of the areas that I've worked with, when I did Sydney's, I worked with Time Warner and we did it together. I mean, with Spectrum, we was in the boxes together and, you know, going into the buildings and stuff, which we worked good together. How this other is going to go, I don't know. I can't tell you that part. So hopefully that helps answer your question, you know, what's there. But I know what you're talking about with all the boxes sitting there, and it is an eyesore for you guys. So, but anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Anything else? All right, moving on to auditor, Mrs. Mumman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just a quick update on the budgets. The department heads turned in their final budget submissions on Monday. And we already have meetings set up for the administration to talk with the department heads regarding their submissions. The end of October, 1st of November, we've got most of the meetings set up already. So we are moving along. How soon you're going to see all of this, I'm not sure yet, but we are getting going on it. So, and with that, I pass.
All right, thank you. Moving on to committee reports, we have one scheduled out of the utility committee.
Honorable members of council, the Utilities Committee hereby submits our report. The Utilities Committee met on August 30th and September 27th in the council chambers to discuss the curb radiuses for future paving. After discussing multiple efficient ways to complete curb replacement in the city, the committee has come to a conclusion. The Utilities Committee recommends, starting in 2025, the curb replacement will follow the current paving schedule. The city will evaluate and replace curbs in 2024. The cost of curb replacement will be assessed to the property owners beginning in 2025. Owners will have an option to replace the curbs on their property at their own expense up front or have it assessed to the property taxes. There will be 10 annual installments on the assessment. Respectfully submitted, Committee on Utilities, Clarence Godwin, Chairman, Chris Norris, Vice Chairman, and Brian Brown, Member.
To accept the committee report.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to accept the committee report. Discussion?
Man, the curbs and sidewalks are both covered under the same ORC, right?
Correct.
So it's nothing that we're adding to this. This is something that, property owners are responsible for both sidewalks and curbs on their property, right?
For ORC, correct.
Okay. Just to be clear.
But when we had our meetings and we talked about it, we talked about different ways of trying to raise money to not make it a burden to the person that owns the property that has a curb. And, we talked to the auditor about money from the paving going to that, and that wasn't gonna work. And raising, I think it was a 0.25 tax. Trying to do that, and everybody would have to vote on, or it would be a tax for everybody in the city of Greenville that doesn't even have a curb to pay for somebody else that has a curb that needs to be replaced. And people wouldn't want to go for that, so this is the best way to take care of this problem with the curbing. And once they pave the street, and it'll make the road look a lot better with the curb replaced.
Following the paving phases rather than following the sidewalk phases. So that it will be proposed as the sidewalk list comes out, it will be incorporated with, the street paving list comes out, it'll go along with it. The street paving. So it's done at the same time, which is when it should be done.
I think it's fair to say that curbs and sidewalks, in good shape, do nothing but enhance property values for the homeowner as well.
Right.
Any other discussion? The motion right now is to accept the committee report. Please call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Healy?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
All right, moving on to ordinances and resolutions, we have 4. The first one is a supplemental ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. The supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the General Fund and Capital Improvement Plan Fund in the sum as follows. CIP transfer, elected auditor and treasurer in the amount of $526,710.08. These funds are needed for transfer to the CIP fund for the sidewalk project. New equipment, fire department, in the amount of $9,300. These funds are needed to purchase a wireless headset for Quint 172 and were provided for in part from a grant from the Ohio Department of Public Safety. Sidewalk project CIP in the amount of $526,710.08. These funds are needed for the city's sidewalk project and were provided for by ARPA funding.
We'll suspend the rules and give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only. Discussion. Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Healy?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Healy?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
All right, moving on, number 2, we have a transfer ordinance.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville. This transfer ordinance allows for the transfer of funds in the capital improvement plan fund in the sum as follows: $800,000 from roadway enhancement CIP to sidewalk project CIP. This transfer is needed to earmark the funds allocated to the sidewalk project.
Move to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second, third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville. An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
All right, moving on. Number 3, this is the ordinance about the street openings from Brightspeed.
An ordinance increasing the number of street openings to be permitted and reducing the amount of the guarantee bond to be required in connection with the 2023 Brightspeed project. This ordinance increases the street openings to 300 openings and decreases the required guarantee bond amount to $150,000 in connection with the 2023 Brightspeed project.
Move to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second, third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
An ordinance increasing the number of street openings to be permitted and reducing the amount of the guarantee bond to be required in connection with the 2023 Brightspeed project. An ordinance increasing the number of street openings to be permitted and reducing the amount of the guarantee bond to be required in connection with the 2023 Brightspeed project.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion?
Just curious, Ryan, what was the guaranteed bond amount initially? This is, we are reducing it to 150,000.
I think it's for opening. Yeah. It's
Oh,
it's a
okay.
blanket.
So this is the blanket, okay. Thanks.
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
And number 4, resolution authorizing safety service director to enter into an agreement for the vehicles for the police department.
A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into an agreement to purchase 3 motor vehicles to be used by the police department. This resolution authorizes the safety service director to enter into an agreement to purchase 3 new 2024 Ford Explorer police interceptors to be used by the police department.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this resolution a second and third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into an agreement to purchase 3 motor vehicles to be used by the police department. Resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into an agreement to purchase 3 motor vehicles to be used by the police department.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion?
We're gonna keep these all whole, right, chief?
Is these to replace some of the oldest ones then?
Chief, on the upfitting, are we purchasing new sirens, lights, radios, or is it just for the installation of those and the cost?
It's gonna be where we get it. We could have a significant savings if Dave Knapp can get in the way. Statewide Ford, and with this thing kind of holds you hostage, you have to use their outfitter or us. They're gonna sell the vehicle. It costs us a lot more, so we won't get as much.
Yeah. And I guess my specific question is, do we reuse anything that we have off of the Dodges?
If it is reusable, yes.
Okay.
But some of the equipment, especially some of the radar, is getting quite out of
Right, but I meant light bars, radio equipment,
If we can.
MDTs can transfer.
MDT is better.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah, the light bars if we can.
all right, very good, thank you.
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yeah.
All right, that's all for ordinances, resolutions. Moving on to new business. Any items there? Old business, we do have one tabled, the zoning amendment. Any action on that? Not yet.
I want to discuss,
Working on it.
I did go out to the senior living center that's located here in the city of Greenville. And they have over a 2.5-year waiting list now for anybody to get in out there, and it's a 60 unit. And I asked Scott, which is the new project manager of that location, and I asked him, I said, is there anybody here living under 55 or somebody's grandparents or got their kids living here? And he goes, absolutely not. He goes, we don't do that here. And he said that about 30% of the people work out there around the city of Greenville, and the single person's income is $33,000, which I thought that was pretty good. So, and I know the other project, I know they're still wanting to do it, and it was I think a 42 unit project is what that was. And with that, I'm done.
If they have a backlog or 2.5 years, I think you said, of
Yeah.
backlog for renters, why do they keep advertising in the paper that they need renters?
He said they got a 2.5-year waiting list. You can talk to the guy out there. I just drove up to the office and asked the question.
I saw that too.
Yeah, and that, it just doesn't make sense why they would pay for advertising if they've got a backlog of people wanting to rent.
I'll ask Scott that when I go back out there. But I'm just saying, he said he had it over a 2.5-year waiting list.
All right, moving on. Council representative for outside committee, Council on Aging.
That would be me.
All right.
All right. I'll try not to bore you too long. Okay, I want to tell you, Dark County DD and the Dark County Fair Board, they went together, as we all know, and had an adult changing table. And that made a big difference in a lot of people's being able to attend the fair. And that's one of the things that over the past few months, even a year or so, the Council on Aging has talked about some of the things that we really need for our senior citizens. So, and they were the people that I've talked to at different events. They're really looking forward to the efforts that the city is making on having a changing table at Yellow. So that's a little side issue, but it's something that gets talked about at gatherings and all of this. So it's one of those things that kudos to Ryan and the crew who are planning to make that a part of YOLO. I think that's wonderful. That being said, on September the 27th, I attended a senior citizens luncheon that was at Romer's. And it was quite, I'm going to attend, I mean, there was quite a lot of people there. Everybody there received a goodie bag that had all kinds of promotional things in them. And the Senior Citizens line dancing club, they were the entertainment, so to speak, and they put on a really nice program. Plus, there was a lot of just good fellowship and fun. So, and there was also, there's a summary that you can go and visit the Tri-County Council on Aging, and that gives you a summary of their events that are coming up. So the one thing that I noticed, and every time I'm at one of these things, and every time I attend a function or a meeting, they talk about having a senior citizen center located in the city limits. I know that Birchwood is designed, has that title on it, but they keep talking about transportation. They keep talking about it's not convenient. So, and then when I was at this function, I was talking to a table of ladies, and they said, well, gee whiz, we go to the Senior Citizen Center in Sydney, and we go to Preble County, we go to Miami County, and they have such nice centers, and they're doing something every day. And they said, why can't our city/county have an activity center that they can use every day to do not just line dancing, not just crafts, but where they can gather together and have a meal, play cards. Those are the things that are missing. And they say, they like Birchwood. It's really nice, but they're kind of looking for a place to hang their hat. So I'm just making you aware that there are needs out there that they keep telling me we want to see something. So I would just encourage us all to be maybe more mindful of what we can do to make that a reality for our senior citizens. There used to be one in the city limits, and there isn't anymore. I know COVID wreaked havoc with a lot of things, and this is one of those. So I just urge you to keep your ears open, and those of you who have creative minds, I just ask you to think about how we might work. And one of my little efforts that I'm going to start working on is I'd like to see what kind of buildings are available that we might do something. They talked about having meals together. I guess Preble County has a great kitchen, and they have all kinds of things that go on there. So maybe we need to try to keep up with the Joneses, and with that, I pass. Thank you.
Thank you. Communication.
We received the CIC minutes from July 26th and the monthly report of September from the Income Tax Department.
All right, thank you. Let's call down the council.
Brown?
Pass.
Ely?
Pass.
Godwin?
Thanks for everybody coming up tonight, and with that, I'll pass.
Norris?
Yeah, I appreciate the attendance and the public coming up to speak. Real quickly, Chief, I've had a couple residents come to me for Grace Resurrection Center on Monday and Thursday nights. Apparently one of the officers must have went down and talked to Mr. Garrison, and they want parking in the alley. And I had two neighbors come over and say that the alley was parked full. They couldn't get out to go to work, and those happen on Monday and Thursdays from 6 to 8. So just to pass that along there. I mean,
Try to call when it happens, we move people.
right. Yeah.
I think some people, they think they just sit there, go in real quick and get something.
And 20, 30 minutes later, and yeah,
Unfortunately, yes.
exactly. Yeah, just to, I said that I would just pass it along. And with that, I'll pass.
Rogers?
Yes, thanks for everybody coming up and expressing some things tonight. Also, on the Senior Citizen Center, of course, I've involved with several senior citizens, and they have said, well, why couldn't we use the Marsh building? Well, I'm not sure, I'm not the owner of it, so that I'm not sure of that. But anyway, I think there is a need for it, and I hope that we can get something going on that part. So thanks for bringing that up. Also, I had a gentleman that is out at the Village Green. He needed to go to an eye appointment the other day. I don't know where the problem was, whether it was in the dispatch, whether it was because they didn't have enough drivers or what, but transit was supposed to take him, and he ended up missing that appointment, which was a very necessity appointment. And he was not too happy about it. So, like I said, I don't know whether it was in the dispatch system or driver situation or what, but if we're going to enlarge our capacity or whatever, going to different places, we need to make sure that we get all of our ducks in a row before we do that. And with that, I pass.
Schmidt?
I will pass.
Whitaker?
I just want to make note again about the statue dedication this Friday afternoon for former Representative Jim Beakey, who represented this area very well in the House, and hopefully it'll be a beautiful afternoon at 4 o'clock. And I want to thank everybody who came up, all of our department heads, very much appreciated. And also appreciated is the efforts made by
both fiber one,
Omni fiber.
optic fiber, okay, and Brightspeed fiber for bringing internet options to the city of Greenville. It's very important to the future of the city and to the whole county that we have internet service. If we want to attract young people to move and live in Greenville and Dark County, we got to have that. And thank you very much. With that, I pass.
All right, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'm gonna give that to Mr. Brown.
Flip a coin.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Brown?
Yes.
Seely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, was that?